I've got local grandchildren, ages 8 and 5, and whenever I go over to visit them, one of the first questions I ask them is, are you getting better at fighting? Because you guys suck at it. I tell them they need the practice because that's what really is going on for these guys when they bicker nonstop. These two boys, two toddlers who just fight over the most ridiculous things. And I'm not saying to them, are you learning to stop fighting? Or are you learning to fight gently? I'm saying, can you get better at fighting because you suck at it? There are two ways to suck at fighting. One is way over there on the soft side, where you become a pushover because you're so busy trying to be nice and kind and moral and all of that that you cannot deal with someone who's actually in a more thuggish or assertive state. And then there's that thuggish, assertive state. I think America needs more practice fighting. I don't think we're really very good at it, and I think it has gotten us in very deep trouble. I think that verbal combat is the last bulwark against physical violence. And while we wish we'd never get to the point where we have to engage in verbal combat, we're there and beyond there. We're already into the physical violence. We may be on the verge of a civil war that we will lose for being bad at fighting. We're not good at it. Many of us retired from it. Culturally, we assumed that we would never have to fight again. You can say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us and the world will live as one. Are you fucking kidding me? I mean, I understand the joy of imagining that there would be no more need for conflict, but the idea that we could actually live as one, fat fucking chance. So, this is a new series I'm going to run. It's sort of annual by now. I ran one last year called How to Roll Trolls and Stump Trumpists. And it was my most popular series ever. This is the same thing again a year later. More study, more research, more thinking about it. How to avoid being a namby-pamby pushover on the one hand and being a uncivilized, horrible, a-hole absolutist brute on the other. How to fight in that middle ground. So this series will be a bunch of short videos that are attempts to skill people up in their fighting. We need the practice. We got too soft. And I want to say it has application no matter what the rest of your life contains. There will be people who trespass into what you consider to be your turf. Whether it is your turf or not is another question. But you will be dealing with the give and take at the borders, at the boundaries, and you'll be dealing with these tensions about whether to set boundaries, whether to accommodate people, whether to let people in. And you will be hearing a lot of moralizing boilerplate at you. People throwing stuff at you about what you should do. Lots of advocates end up playing personal coach to those who are their rivals and telling them how to live. The right thing to do would be, my advice to you, it should be obvious to any clear-thinking human being, my advice to you is that you accommodate me. So a lot of it also entails being able to listen to people without being manipulated, without being overwhelmed by their sound of confidence and authority. So I hope you'll join me for this series. We're going to explore all sorts of angles on it. It applies whether you're dealing in your personal life, in your work life, in your cultural life, in your political life, in your life as a human being on this planet who has to engage in the give and take and not just give in and not just take whatever you want, that in-between tough judgment call realm, where my grandkids right now are getting the practice they need. The practice fighting futilely. That is, their feuds are futile. They're just doing all this kind of bickering and huffiness. That's the normal human default state. That's what we're born with. We have to grow out of it. It is a source of some of the most fundamental wisdom you could live on, and it will serve you for the rest of your life to be better at fighting. That's what we need. We're a little bit like toddlers. We haven't had enough practice fighting. So that's what we're going to be talking about here. That's what we're going to be working on here in this series on how to not suck at fighting.